You're watching Public Affairs. Berkowitz is my name, and politics is our game. And we will be doing politics this evening because we have as our guest Governor Bill Richardson, who is running for President of the United States in the Democratic primary. Some would refer to him as the Hispanic Barack Obama. Why? Because of his lineage, perhaps. He was born in Pasadena, California, but he grew up in Mexico City. A white banker father from Boston, a mother Mexican, and as I said, grew up in Mexico City, prep school in New England. And then Tufts as for a great school as an undergraduate, Tufts School, Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy for his master's, because he is in international relations and diplomacy for all the things he's done. 4 years in the Congress, coming in when Bill Clinton was elected to president in 1992. At the same time, Bill Richardson, congressman from New Mexico, then ambassador to the United Nations for a year and a half, and then 3 years as secretary of the Department of Energy, then elected as governor of New Mexico in 2002, and then re-elected in 2006, and now would like to be elected president of the United States. Did we get that right, Governor Bill Richardson?
You did, and you were very, very accurate. I appreciate that.
All right. Let's go right to the war. You say you want all the troops out, no residual effort. There are some people who think, you would agree, there are Al-Qaeda in Iraq now. If we leave, will it become a safe haven, even as Afghanistan was a safe haven for Al-Qaeda?
Well, the problem now, Jeff, is that our troops have become targets. And not until all our troops leave, residual forces, and I would do this over a 6-month period, let the military determine that. But I would have a diplomatic plan of, at the same time, using the leverage of a withdrawal to set up a diplomatic structure. One, a reconciliation among the three groups in Iraq where they divide oil revenue, divide territory, coalition government, what this government should be doing and isn't doing. Secondly, an all-Muslim peacekeeping force. And I would have Iran and Syria participate, not as a peacekeeping force, but I believe they have a special interest in doing this. They don't want refugees and chaos. And then lastly, a donor conference where other countries take over the reconstruction of Iraq. That is a plan that I believe gives Iraq a chance. Is it perfect? No. But our policy now is a disaster. It's a civil war now. It's a sectarian conflict now. We need to disengage.
Although some say, certainly all the Democrats who are running for president have criticized the president, said the surge is not a strategy, it's a tactic, no new strategy. But those who defend him say it is a counterinsurgency strategy, which is something new in this last year. Only really had the troops in place as of about 2 weeks ago, although started 4 or 5 months ago. Anwar province, which was given up as lost, now seems to have changed, is now in the American column or the Iraq column. Would you say there's been a success in Anwar province that may spread across? Would you concede there's been a new strategy in terms of counterinsurgency? Would you concede General David Petraeus is the right person for that?
Well, I believe General Petraeus is a very distinguished military leader, but the president himself has declared that the benchmarks by the Iraqi government and the progress are not being met. Some were, but the two principal ones are not. One, a transition for the Iraqis to take over the security is not happening. And secondly, the ability of the Iraqi government to simply have reconciliation among all the groups. It's not happening. And then you've got the Prime Minister, Maliki, saying he doesn't need American troops anymore. 62%, Jeff, of the Iraqi people are saying it's okay to shoot an American soldier. 70% of the Iraqis, the Sunni and the Shia, want us out. This is not working. The best thing to do is to protect our interests. And by the way, Al-Qaeda is getting stronger. That intelligence report, since 9/11, they have a beachhead in Iraq. The best thing to do is find ways to protect our interests, but start disengaging, because our troops have become targets, and 3,600 have perished. And what is this going to be, another 5-6 months? Men and women are dying, and the policy is not working, so you shift. And this president doesn't see this at all, and the American people do.
What about North Korea? It looks like they've now shut down their nuclear facility. Apparently no more reprocessing, no more of the ingredient to make nuclear bombs. 6 nations were involved. Diplomacy, which this president said he wanted, did not want bilateral diplomacy. Would you say that's a success for this presidency?
Well, I give the administration credit. Finally, they talked to North Korea directly. I was in North Korea as part of an administration group 4 months ago. We got the remains of 6 of our prisoners back from the Korean War, and we pushed the North Koreans to do what you mentioned, and that is to start inviting international inspectors in to stop developing their nuclear weapons. It's going to be a long haul, but at least they're moving in the right direction. So yeah, I'll give them credit for finally seeing the light after not talking to him directly and after North Korea has 6 nuclear weapons. But yeah, I'll give him credit. I was part of that effort.
Let's go over a little bit of domestic policy. Comprehensive immigration reform appears to be dead, at least until a change in administration, at least until early 2009. Some of the critics of the comprehensive immigration bill say it died because Americans were not confident that the border control procedures that were in the bill were sufficient to actually decrease the flow of illegal immigrants into the United States across the southern border. They would say, show you can do that, don't promise inputs, show demonstrated effects, say 90% of that flow cut down, then do the earned path to citizenship. Would you go with that now in terms of, is that the best way to deal with reform given the current situation?
The best way to deal with reform is do 4 things simultaneously. And it just showed the breakdown in the immigration bill that this Congress and this president can't work together. They can't get anything done, and it's shameful. The 4 things you need to do is 1, you need to enforce our borders, double the number of Border Patrol agents and technology. Secondly, those that knowingly hire illegal workers should be punished. Third, get a relationship with Mexico where they stop sending a lot of their people that are desperate. Have them do some jobs for their own people. Work with Mexico to do that. And lastly, I believe you need an earned legalization plan. One that isn't amnesty, one that isn't that obeys our laws, one that isn't citizenship. What's the alternative? A deportation of 12 million people? That makes no sense. So what we should do is create a system where, over meeting certain objections, conditions, learning English, paying back taxes, paying fines for being here illegally, obeying American laws, passing a background check, getting behind those that are trying to get here legally. You need an earned legalization plan. And it's best that the Congress and the President get back together to do it, but I don't believe it'll happen.
Until 2009.
Probably won't happen until 2008. And that's going to be bad for this country.
What about a fence? Should there be a fence or a wall across the southern border? Should there be drones that help support that fence in diminishing the flow of illegal immigrants into the U.S.?
Well, there should be drones. There should be more technology.
What about the fence, though? Would you
The
support
fence
the fence?
makes no sense. The fence is a
How come?
disaster.
Why?
Well, first of all, the Congress didn't fund it. Secondly, it's a terrible symbol. America.
To keep people out who are illegal? Why was that? It's not keeping people in who want to leave. It's keeping people out who are illegal.
Well, the problem with that is it won't work, because what you'll have is a 10-foot fence, and there'll be a lot of 11-foot ladders. It's just not going to work. The best safeguard is more people. I double the number of Border Patrol trained agents. We never deploy enough people on the border. A fence is a terrible symbol, and it's also not going to work.
Let's go over to education. As a governor, no doubt you've been dealing with that issue. Many people view it as a state and local issue, but as a president, you can inspire solutions to that. You favor charter schools, is that right?
Yes, I favor charter
You
schools.
favor tax credits for parochial schools, right?
Well, I think under certain...
You have when you ran for governor. Wasn't that part of your program?
No.
You didn't favor tax credits. Michael Barone got it wrong in the almanac from American
He
Politics?
probably did.
Well, I have to
but
let Michael know.
I am for charter schools. I'm for magnet schools. I'm for competition in public schools. I'm not for vouchers.
Why not?
Because it's not going to work. Because it's going to undermine public
Let me
schools.
give you an example here. Let's put the use one copy. You know, in Chicago, I don't know what it is in New Mexico, but in Chicago, public schools, we spend $12,000 per kid per year. It's a lot of money. Take that $12,000.
You going to give it to me?
Well, your first campaign, I guess we first campaign donation from this corner. Yeah, well, we will if you like. We're going to put it in this backpack.
Okay.
We're going to hold it here. And the proposal is, why not strap 420,000 kids in the Chicago public schools, give those 420,000 parents a backpack, they strap it on the kid. If the parents are happy with the public schools, as many are, they stay. If they're not, out goes the kid, Out goes the backpack, out goes the cash. Competition, innovation occurs. Over time, the public schools get better. The private schools also provide innovation. A lot of rich people can go from one neighborhood to another until they find the school they want. They've got school choice. Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. went to St. Albans in Washington, D.C. Barack Obama went to a prep school. You went to a prep school. Why not give low-income people the same kind of choice that your parents had?
Well, you're on a crusade, and I respect what you say. Look, I want public schools to get better. They need competition. But I think the answer is charter schools. Let them compete with charter schools. I'm for charter schools. But and I agree,
No
there's too
vouchers,
much.
no backpack. You don't want to do that.
No, there's too much bureaucracy in the schools. I think the money from the state, from the city should go to learning, to teacher training, not to more staff and bureaucracy. I agree with that. But I want to see competition to the public schools. I think the charter experiment is the best.
You want to see lower taxes. You came in New Mexico.
I
you
cut
lowered
taxes.
the cut taxes from 8% to 4.9, right?
Yes, and
Sales tax.
capital gains, and I cut
A
taxes
guy like
for
you, you
businesses.
must be for the Bush tax cuts, right?
I would not get rid of all of them. I would get rid of the 2%, but I would replace his tax cuts with tax cuts for the middle class.
So give me an income level. Would you raise taxes for families with incomes over $150,000?
That's in some cases middle class.
So would you? So you
No.
wouldn't raise it for over 150,000.
Well,
raise it
I'd
for
have
over
to-
200,000. What's the
Well,
number?
I got to get my plans out.
You don't know?
But I am not. No, I'm not a tax raiser. I believe in making this economy stronger, the way I did in New Mexico. We're the fifth fastest growing state in the country. We attracted renewable energy companies, movies.
So you're a tax cutter.
I'm a tax cutter, and I'm a Democrat, and you can be both. But I paid for
JFK
that.
was. John Fitzgerald.
That's
JFK
right.
Cut
And-
taxes in the 60s.
Yeah, and he's my hero. But I paid for those tax cuts. The Bush tax cuts are not paid for, and we have this huge
Let
deficit.
me do something real quick.
Okay,
More or less? Should we have more aggressive interrogations or less?
less.
Should we have more warrantless wiretaps involving foreign domestic calls or fewer?
Fewer, but with court orders. You can do them because we got to
You need 'em,
stop
you need 'em.
terrorism.
You believe in the global war on terrorism?
Yes, I do. I
It's not a
definitely do.
bumper sticker, as John
No,
Edwards
it's not.
says.
I disagree with Senator Edwards and Senator Clinton.
More pressure
It's
on
serious.
Israel to deal with the Palestinians or less?
I would have a peace process. I worry about Israel. They're our main ally, but today Israel is less secure with Al Qaeda, with Hamas, with Iran wanting to build
So
nuclear
more pressure
weapons.
or less on them? to do?
I would not pressure
with them as
Israel. I would
diplomacy.
work with them. I would have a Middle East peace negotiator. We don't have one. The first president not to have a Middle East peace process.
You pushed hard for NAFTA when you were there in Congress. You lobbied hard. Bill Clinton lobbied hard. You still a free trader?
Well, I'm more a fair trader. I think NAFTA, in many cases, did not work the way I wanted. I thought it would reduce immigration. I thought it would create a lot of jobs on both sides. There are a lot of problems with it. I'm now a fair trader, somebody that wants to see fair trade, but with international labor standards, child labor, environmental protection, worker protections. So I'd be a lot tougher now.
Two quick things to close. In New Mexico, you supported concealed carry.
Yeah.
Do you still support that nationally as president if you become president?
Yeah, I don't want to get into a debate on gun control. What we need in this country is instant background checks, even at gun shows. That's what I've always been for, because we can't allow those with criminal backgrounds or those that are mentally ill to have weapons. The issue is poverty, is jobs, is education, instead of wanting to take everybody's gun away.
All right, last question. You're about 7%, Hillary Clinton's 31%, and there are a few others in between you. You got 6 or 7 months till Super Tuesday. Can Bill Richardson win this, or is in to be vice president to Hillary Clinton?
No, I don't want to be vice president.
You like the Clintons, though, right? You're friends with
Oh,
them.
yes.
You like Hillary? You
And-
like Bill?
Yeah, and President Clinton was very good to me, but I'm running for president. I can win. This race is far from
How do
over.
you
It's
turn
6
it around?
months
How
away.
do you get the money? They had
It's not
Obama's
a-
got 31 million.
It's
in the last
not about
47.
money. It's not about celebrity. It's not about glitter. It's about plans and experience and going straight with voters and grassroots. That's how I'm going to win. I
You
don't
got
care.
better experience than Hillary Clinton?
Yes, I
Better
have the
experience.
best experience of any of the candidates. I've done more in diplomacy
Combination of
and
state and federal, right?
sure, yeah.
There's a reason why 2 U.S. senators, and I don't know how long, became president, because none of them, as they say, ever had to do anything more than run a Senate office.
The last senator we elected president was John F. Kennedy. 7 out of the last 8 presidents have been a governor or an ex-governor. That gives me a little advantage.
It's an edge. Thank you so much, Governor
Thank
Bill
you.
Richardson.
Thank you.
Thanks.